Welcome to the 2026 Dirt on the Trail Director's Cut, formerly known as the annual State of the D&L Trail Address. This year, we're excited to share with you D&L Trail trip itineraries from across the Delaware and Lehigh National Heritage Corridor, on-the-ground updates that you'll need to know for 2026, and exciting upcoming events that get you out onto the D&L Trail, paddling the Lehigh River, and exploring our local history in new ways. If you're new to the trail, be sure to tune back in for our upcoming D&L Trail trip planning and preparation video for all you need to know when considering an adventure on the D&L. I'm Liz Rosenkrantz, the Director of Trails and Conservation. I'm going to share with you 2 trip highlights that visit some of our favorite spots along the trail. And I'll give you some important trail updates from across the corridor. Starting in our southernmost region, we've outlined a route along the Delaware Canal that highlights 2 brand new trail structures along the D&L that were recently completed by the Delaware Canal State Park. Here's Kelsey Hansen, the Assistant Park Manager, with more information.
In September 2021, Tropical Storm Ida swept over Pennsylvania and caused major damage to portions of Delaware Canal State Park. Though many areas of the canal were impacted by the storm, the largest and most notable were the High Falls Subcanal Culvert and the Lumberville Aqueduct. DCNR worked with design consultants to determine the most climate-resilient solution. This resulted in DCNR installing a larger subcanal culvert to allow the conveyance of as much stormwater as possible during the heavy storms we anticipate for the future. In Lumberville, DCNR worked with design consultants to discern the most viable solution necessary to make the aqueduct more climate resilient. This resulted in constructing a new aqueduct that spans the creek without a center pier. This aqueduct is designed to allow the passage of floodwaters without the impediment of a central pier. We are proud of all who contributed to the completion of these projects and who helped DCNR determine the best climate resiliency solutions for the canal without compromising the nature of this treasured National Historic Landmark. We are excited to have the trail reopened in these sections after several years of closure.
The route that we've planned to highlight these 2 projects is a 13.8-mile one-way or 27.6-mile round trip along a relatively flat section of trail that's a mix of crushed stone and grass. You'll start at the Ringing Rocks Trailhead off of River Road, State Route 32, which is near mile marker 44.8. From here, you'll follow a short grassy path that's marked with signs to connect you to the D&L Trail. Once you reach the trail, you'll turn left, heading southbound with the Delaware Canal on your right. At mile marker 44.23, you'll be riding over the recently completed High Falls Subcanal Culvert. At mile marker 43.26, you'll reach a trail-friendly business situated right along the canal.
This section of the trail is home to Homestead General Store. It's a favorite among trail users and the D&L staff. Steps off the trail, they have bike parking and plentiful parking for other vehicles too. If it's a nice day, you can grab a seat on the patio or come inside. Inside you'll find restrooms, welcoming and knowledgeable staff, delicious menu items, a comfortable atmosphere, and much more. You can even do a little shopping and grab some tasty treats for the trail or memorabilia to prove you were here. You will quickly see why this is a fan favorite along the Delaware Canal section of the D&L Trail. Be sure to fill your coffee cup with their specialty roasted brew before heading back out onto the trail.
As you continue your ride to the south, you'll see sites like the Ulcertown Covered Bridge at mile marker 39.9, Tinicum Park and the Irwin Stover House, mile marker 38.6, Tinicum Creek Aqueduct, mile marker 37.2, the Point Pleasant Aqueduct, mile marker 32.7, the Lumberville Aqueduct and Pedestrian Bridge at mile marker 31, and locks 17 through 12. At this point, you've reached our turnaround at the town of Lumberville. There's plenty to explore here if you have time to stick around, including multiple restaurants and shops. Spanning over the trail and accessible from River Road is the historic Lumberville Raven Rock Suspension Bridge that extends over the Delaware River. This is a must-see site that provides a connection to the Bulls Island Recreation Area and access to the Delaware and Raritan, or D&R Trail in New Jersey. Multiple loop options are available when you connect to the D&R, and this is an easy way to extend your trip. If you're looking for some nearby parks to explore while you're here, consider checking out the Ringing Rocks County Park, Nockamixon Cliffs Natural Area, Tinicum County Park, and Bulls Island Recreation Area. Before you visit this section, keep 2 notes in mind. Number 1, restrooms are limited along the trail. Hop off at Tinicum Park and in Lumberville for amenities. And number 2, always check our interactive map and socials before heading out. This section has multiple bridges that can be impacted by flooding and severe storms. Moving on to the Lehigh Valley region. There's been exciting progress in this region over the past year, with lots of behind-the-scenes work underway to progress major trail projects that will continue in 2026. If you want to get more involved and help us advocate for projects that need your support, visit our Take Action website for resources. There are 3 main updates that you'll see on the ground this year. At mile marker 61, the Glendon Hill Bridge that provides access to Hugh Park Island, the National Canal Museum, and the DLNHC office in Easton will be closed for repairs, starting in June through the end of the year. This will cause a park closure, our offices will be closed, and the D&L Trail, which uses this bridge to cross the Delaware River, will also be closed. At Race Street and Lehigh Street in Catasauqua, PennDOT is continuing their intersection improvement project that includes a D&L Trail connection over the Catasauqua Creek and under the Race Street Bridge between Taylor House Brewing and the Diley Coal Yard at mile marker 79. The anticipated trail opening is the end of August. A little to the north, at mile marker 81, the PennDOT project to rebuild the State Route 329 Cementon Bridge is progressing and includes a sidewalk route for the D&L Trail, as well as improvements to the Cementon Trailhead. The Trailhead and Trail are tentatively expected to reopen in May. Moving to our northernmost region, we outlined a trail route that showcases some breathtaking natural features, historic sites, and a bustling trail town. But first, the Anthracite Scenic Trails Association, also known as ASTA, will share some exciting trail updates.
My name is Richard Cochran. I'm with the Anthracite Scenic Trails Association, commonly known as ASTA. The trail you see behind me is the subject of a project to improve 4.5 miles of trail from Mountaintop to approaching Laurel Run Borough, also known as Oliver Mills. This part of the trail, which is undeveloped, will be under construction and not really available for public use for about the next year. This project is scheduled to be completed in December of 2026.
While the Oliver Mills to Mountaintop Trail section around mile marker 144.5 is under construction, we encourage trail users to explore the trail starting at the Black Diamond Trailhead at mile marker 140 and continue south.
Hi, I'm Christy Joseph, and this is the Black Diamond Trailhead off of 437 in Mountaintop, Pennsylvania. It's a gravel trail, part of the D&L Trail system. You can ride about 140 miles on trail from here to Bristol, and we have a parking lot that's accessible for riders, for walkers, for hikers.
Our Anthracite ride will turn around at the Black Diamond Trailhead, but we'll kick things off to the south at the Rockport Trailhead. situated at mile marker 120.9 within the Lehigh Gorge State Park. This ride is 19.1 miles one way or a 38.2 mile round trip along crushed stone trail with a slight uphill grade for the first half of the ride and a downhill grade that you'll notice more on your way back. You'll head north on the trail from Rockport, passing by Buttermilk Falls. As you travel through thick forests, lush with rhododendron and mountain laurel on your left, and the Lehigh River on your right. Be sure to stop at the restrooms at Rockport, as they're your last stop until you reach Whitehaven, 10 miles to the north. At mile marker 128.5, you'll reach Tannery Road. If you get off trail and follow the road to the right across the Lehigh River, you'll find the Lehigh Tannery Historic Site. Continuing north on the trail, you'll reach the Whitehaven South Trailhead at mile marker 130.2, where you'll find another restroom before you enter the town of Whitehaven, a major trail town with multiple trail-friendly businesses.
The D&L Trail aligns with Main Street in the borough of Whitehaven. It gives a unique opportunity to see and visit the downtown shopping district as you make your way through this trail town. You will quickly notice the trail-friendly business sticker on many windows and doors, as Whitehaven business owners are always excited to welcome in trail users. In Whitehaven, you will find history at the library and community center, bikes on either end of town, both Pocono Biking and Trailtown Bikes are ready with rentals. On our last visit, we stopped in at Tavern on the Trail for a bite to eat. We grabbed the Taco Tuesday specials, and check out that cheese pull. The staff was so nice and offered recommendations for our next stop. They also allowed us to charge our phones while waiting for lunch. If it's good food, a friendly atmosphere, and perhaps a cold beer you are looking for, this is just the place for you. And in the warmer months, you can enjoy it on their outside patio. We look forward to seeing you at Tavern on the Trail this year.
After you've explored the town, hop back on the trail at the Whitehaven North Trailhead at mile marker 130.5 and continue north. Just off the trailhead to your right is a hiking path to explore a loch from the Upper Grand section of the Lehigh Canal with great views of the Lehigh River. If you can't get enough of these historic sites, there's another loch off trail near the southern trailhead. Just look for the signs. Once you cross Middleburg Road and the railroad, a major trail project that was completed in 2021, you'll leave the state park and enter the ASTA-owned section of trail. This section is all about natural views and wildlife. Take it all in as you ride and notice the small wetlands with beaver dams. Stop for a rest and a snack at Moosehead Lake around mile marker 136, a truly scenic spot with picnic benches. You'll reach your turnaround point once you make your way to a wooden fence that marks the end of this continuous section of D&L Trail. If you'd like to see the Black Diamond Trailhead and the seasonal porta-johns, follow the half-mile gravel connector trail on your left, or start your journey back to the Rockport Trailhead. Don't forget another stop in Whitehaven before you head home to stock up on snacks and souvenirs. Some need-to-know notes for visiting this trail section include checking your GPS and the D&L Trail interactive map before heading out. There is active construction along I-80 that impacts parking at the Whitehaven South Trailhead and road access to the town. There may be very temporary trail closures that will be posted on our website and on socials. There are also limited amenities beyond Whitehaven, so make sure you fuel up and use the restroom before continuing north to the Black Diamond Trailhead.
I'm Brick Andravy, Conservation Manager at the DLNHC. The DLNHC and partners provide events that will allow you to experience the history, natural resources, trails, and legacy of this region throughout the year. Earn badges and branded swag as you get your tail on the trail. You can log your miles on your own or at DLNHC during our Get Your Tail on the Trail Health and Heritage Walk series. Are you ready to experience a water trail? Then I invite you to join us for Lehigh River Sojourn from June 19th to the 21st. This 3-day adventure will feature 3 activities in those 3 days, and it also provides catered meals and free camping opportunities. On day 1, canoe, kayak, or paddleboard through the peaceful flat water of the Lehigh Valley. On day 2, enjoy handcrafted meals and beverages at trailside eateries during a bike tour of the D&L Trail from Walnutport to Weisport. On day 3, experience Class 2 and Class 3 rapids in the Lehigh Gorge as you whitewater raft during a dam release weekend. Join us for 1, 2, or all 3 days. If you're looking to lean into the history of the region, I'd encourage you to attend Towpath to Tomorrow. This signature fundraising event, scheduled for May 28th at the Crayola Experience, will grant attendants exclusive first access to the National Canal Museum's newest traveling exhibition, Dynamo, the Innovators, Inventors, and Architects of the Revolutionary Change. DLNHC also invites you to help us steward the trail. Through our D&L Trail Tender program, local residents just like you can volunteer to help us clean up litter, clean up historic structures, and improve amenities for trail users. In honor of National Trails Day on June 6th, D&L Trail Tenders will meet at Glenanoco Trailhead in Lehigh Gorge State Park to remove invasive species and litter. If you love the D&L Trail like we do, please consider joining us at this event or one of the other Trail Tender events scheduled to run between April and October. D&L Race Fest, presented by St. Luke's, will bring 4 signature events to the Lehigh Valley on November 15th. Those events include the marathon, marathon run, marathon relay, and half marathon run or walk. So run or walk your way to the finish line at Scott Park in Easton after experiencing the beauty of the D&L Trail in autumn. Your participation in this event directly supports the D&L Trail. These are just a few of the events hosted by or in partnership with the DLNHC. We encourage you to follow more at delawareandlehigh.org.